No, the board does not have the ability to censor another board member or a member of the public.
We're talking
If
about
someone
the
gets out of
$300 now. That's
control,
already gone.
if someone gets
We're
out of
talking-
control,
there's a new
even
motion
they
right here,
are
and
required.
The motion is that we pay $300
Why are you guys still doing this? I've simply asked that we work on productive, healthy things for this township, and every time it turns into a squabble.
Well, that's-
Move forward.
That's
I
what
was
I
just
just did.
informing
I just
people
did
that they
that.
cannot be
I
censored.
just did that.
Go back and make your vote.
I just
and make
did
your
that.
vote.
The motion is to pay for Rick and Bruno to attend technician training.
With lunch.
The other thing is gone.
Is there support for the
Lots of
motion?
alcohol.
Because it was unlawful, that's why that's gone.
Is there support for number 7, the assessor's training?
We already paid, we passed back a few months ago, I don't know exactly when, but we passed that we pay $100 for you and Bruno to attend assessor training, but the price went up. So that's why we have to revisit this. So the motion is to pay $300 for the two of you to attend assessor training, and if there's no second, then it dies.
You know, in the interest of what we've already had earlier,
I'll support that for the sake of
I think you should
discussion.
amend your motion.
Well,
Obviously, there's gonna be a dollar amount, but I think that worksheet or the form that we talked about earlier, I think we should fill that out before we approve a dollar amount. That way, everything is itemized, and we can say it's this much instead of saying 300 and then coming back for reimbursements after the money's spent.
I agree, yeah.
well,
That's
and
fine.
see, at that time,
I'll accept, did you second it?
I did,
Okay, you second it?
that's why we're
Okay,
discussing.
I'm
Would you
discussing.
accept that change?
you are asking people
Okay, I'll
to
change-
pay
I'll
for
accept that
training
change
when there's an
also.
election coming up.
Yes.
They might have not even be here after the 2020 election. So, you're want to go to this assessor training, and there's no assurance, because nobody can predict an election, as to whether you'll even be here or not.
Excuse me, I thought they just got a new assessor for the,
Yeah,
The county.
We're talking.
I just got a letter in the mail and I called and I ended up in Rogers City somewhere and they said, well, they got a new assessor in
Right.
Briley Township.
Yes,
Well,
this
what-
is just for two members of this board to go to training and know more about assessing. And I
Oh.
say no to that because we'll soon have another election,
Oh.
all right? And if we're gonna train someone, I would like the people to have them here for a full 4-year term at least. And there's no assurance that anybody's, they're even gonna be here.
Well, it came on a water bill I got and I couldn't figure out why the number was on there, so I called it and I ended up in Rogers City and they said they got a new assessor accounting. But what's that got to do with the water bill? My water wasn't even on at the time anyways, but I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
you just
Figure it
want
out.
these guys to be familiar with the assessor, how it works, or?
It just, if you have questions about your taxes, sir, then the assessor would answer them for you. And that's, I think, why they included it in there, so everybody would have the new contact information.
I got the I just didn't know what it was about, so. I figured that out, and I was
Yeah.
wondering why you needed 2 more assessors to be
It's
trained.
not that you need more assessors, but how do you check the level of service that you're getting if you're not familiar with the service that you should be getting?
That's understandable
That's-
right
that-
there.
that was the
Okay,
reason.
all right, well, that makes sense.
So we need to
You
know-
wanna know if you're getting cheated or scammed or not, well,
Correct. That's
Yeah.
what that's about.
So it's been motioned and seconded that,
Discussion. So we can do a
that,
roll call vote.
yeah, well, just a minute, let me
Okay.
read it. That we pass this with the provision that before any more is granted, the total cost has to be figured out and brought before the board.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's motion and second, and we do this by
Roll
roll
call.
call. Okay, so let people discuss first if they want to.
We've had the discussion.
We have. We're
Yeah,
ready
we've
for the
been
vote.
beating that around, I didn't agree
Kaiser?
with it. No,
Klein,
Yes.
Wojcik,
Yes.
it's like,
Comer, yes.
there's a problem with this, because you're voting money for yourself.
No, this isn't voting money because what has to happen.
Yeah,
Is it
well,
gonna
you're
be-
you're voting to pay yourself.
No.
No, it's paying for the
No,
class.
it's the service.
They're not getting that
them.
money.
Well,
I
they're
can't, I'm
getting,
not training myself.
they're paying, you're paying for their training, all right?
What's wrong with
How
that?
can they do a job if they're not trained for it?
It's not their job.
I
We
think
have an
that
assessor.
someone needs to monitor what's happening. I truly do, and I can't be the only one.
Well,
It
paid.
kind
There
of
can't be
actually is
one
their
person.
job, because the supervisor is really the
It's their record.
They
chief
chair
assessor.
the-
He's
they
really
chair
the
the
chief assessor, and he also
hearings.
has to know how to deal with the board of review, because that's another one of his jobs.
The law says
So-
if
so-
capable,
so why do you keep interrupting me?
because that's what you do to everyone.
No, I don't do that to everyone. You interrupted Rick. You interrupted me 3 or 4 times. If you interrupt me, then I have to yell, and I don't want to yell, because it's my turn to talk. So anyway, there's other things that the supervisor has to do that relate to assessing. And that's why, for example, that Berg is a level 4 assessor, and he's also supervisor of his township.
Pressed out. And Amber was a level 4 assessor too.
No, she was
Like,
3.
they- she also does Albert.
3, 3, 3, 3.
Excuse me, what do these levels
She
mean?
was a 3.
Basically, the
Qualifications.
qualifications.
Oh, okay.
Qualifications, level of qualifying.
Is that educational quality or experience in years?
Classes.
Oh,
And then
classes.
you have to be experienced, and the law is very specific about how they go about assessing. All right,
okay.
very clearly defined. They have very little
I thought the real
latitude.
estate people knew all that kind of
They
stuff.
also know that because
No,
they,
that's what I was wondering.
Okay,
Sure.
Kenneth Hop Water Settlement,
all right.
No, we didn't vote on that.
Yes,
We
we
voted on
did.
that.
Yes.
Okay, good. Go
I
ahead.
said no.
Go ahead.
discussion after the vote is
All right.
confusing. Understood.
Paid $435. Accept.
I move we accept Kenneth Hop's offer. Well, he already paid the money. He paid $435, and I move that we accept that as payment in full of his water bill. I also move at the same time that anybody's bill that is over 2 years old, we discount for them if they ask for it, 30%. This is a 31% discount, and I move that anybody else that asks for his bill is over 2 years old,
Uh,
we discount
Uh,
this.
Somebody seconded, this is not all right. The money is not collectible, and I have asked 2 very experienced treasurers, all right? If there's no lien on your property, and you hold clear title and deed to that property,
I'll second
you
the
cannot
motion.
make them pay.
That's not what this is about.
What?
This
Well,
guy
he
came
is.
in because he had a delinquent water bill.
Okay.
And he offered
We
this
need to
as a
say that up
payment.
front
Right,
then.
he offered this as payment for a delinquent water bill. What Ed is saying is if somebody comes in and their bill is 2 years old, that we offer them a 30% reduction on that bill, because at
Then
least
maybe
we're
they'll
gonna,
pay it.
we're gonna recoup the majority at least, if nothing else.
So I can go for 2 years and get a 30% reduction on my
Well,
water
I'm not
bill?
saying that either, I mean,
Thank you.
obviously this has to be.
That does not make sense.
If you
You know,
own your
because
there
property.
has to
board
be
deals with
something
liens
looked
on
at there,
property.
you know,
Mm.
but,
Although I
No.
would like you to split the
I think
motion.
Mr. Smith just made a very good point here.
I don't want the
Well,
additional.
I can go for 2 years on a delinquent water bill and get a 30% reduction on it?
oh, that's, yeah, Mary said the same
So we
thing.
Yeah.
pass
But,
on each one.
exactly. So you're encouraging people not to pay when you do
Well,
things
How
like
about a case by case
Combined,
basis?
like-
How long do they go before they shut the water off?
To be determined.
'Cause I
We
really
need to
do
think these
that
things
if
through
you're gonna
before
offer
we
a
do them.
discount for
Yeah,
We
much
just
more
give it
thoroughly.
like
water
that.
bills during this time, we have a time period that everybody can come forward and voluntarily pay their delinquents at a discount. and
The
if they don't,
supervisor
then-
would not accept the addition to the motion that said everybody gets a 30% discount.
Correct.
So we're back to the place
I
where
never hooked up to the
we're
city water
only
because my
voting
well
on
water is
Kenneth
the
Hop.
same water you get
and
from the
whether
city.
we
It's
should
coming out of a
accept
well. What's the point?
Is his water currently on?
So you don't have to fix your pump.
How much did he
This
owe?
was
It's
done
not
to
on
him
here.
by-
Yes, it
We're
is.
paying
This
for it
was
in the
done
long
to him
run.
by
It's
the-
By a
$35.
tenant?
$25,000 to fix the wellhead.
It
Yeah.
says he
Yeah,
paid
I mean,
$435.
His balance was
I've had no well in my house for
Okay,
31,
frickin'
excuse
50
me.
years in the
Okay.
basement, it's in the
It's not on
basement,
my
it still
paper.
works.
So the motion is,
Oh, it's on the,
agenda.
yeah, it's on the agenda.
to accept
Mm.
$435
okay.
as payment in full on
Alright.
Kenneth
It's
Hobbs'
in that
water
document,
bill.
oh, in a revised agenda, all right, I don't have that.
Oh, you
Is
got
there
that?
interest
She did.
accumulating on this bill as long as it's not paid?
I couldn't.
I don't think there should be,
I'm sorry?
I think there should be, but I do not think they're doing it yet.
So it's a free ride?
No, there were late charges accruing on this.
All right,
There are.
Yes, each billing, and then what we did when we looked at that is somebody said that somebody made an offer to me, and I said, well, the best we can do is eliminate the late charges, because he was unaware of the billing, because his tenant was supposed to be paying the water bills. I mean, granted, everybody else has got late charges. So what I'm looking for, as far as our second motion, is that we will eliminate the late charges if somebody wants to voluntarily come forward and pay their late, if anybody else finds himself in this situation. We're just trying to help the public, but we're not trying to spank them for a situation they were unaware of when they got into it. And we're trying to make more awareness through some communication with the water system so that mostly renters with tenants do a better job of making sure that the water is taken care of, because a lot of them don't know that the water bill is tied to the property and not to the payee. So it's a rough procedure. It hasn't been happening in the past, but we're trying to fix it. So we're trying to make a settlement so we can move forward.
We have over $4,000
Collectible.
that was forwarded to us from before I was clerk, over $4,000, and we'd like to collect as much of that as we can, and if people are willing to pay something, then we're farther ahead, you know, and this man kinda got stuck because the water bill was going to his tenant, and while that's not an excuse, it's understandable that he wouldn't pay it if he wasn't getting the bill.
Bruno, does $435, it says here it's a 31% reduction of his bill, okay? Now, if you took off his late fees because he was not aware that his renter did not pay it, is that amount $435?
I don't know if it's 435 exactly, but what he had was $435. This is his offer to us to accept.
I see what you're saying. You're saying,
Yeah.
instead of putting a percentage base on, just say take the late charges off.
For him, because he was unaware.
I agree.
For him, but not make a carte blanche rule, because Mr. Smith pointed out if you do that,
No.
and if you're gonna give him a 30%
There's
deduction
no-
after 2 years of being late, then,
there's no-
you know, it's like
I
people are gonna,
agree.
well,
I
I'll catch
agree.
that in a
There's
couple
no
years.
carte blanche rule in this motion.
And
The
Mary's-
motion is just,
Yes, there's
just
no
him
rule.
personally.
Okay.
And
He
if there's
offered
any
that
other
as
settlements, I
settlement.
think they should
Okay.
come before the board.
All right, my opinion is that late, let's figure what his late fees were because he was unaware, all right? And we can give him that, but I'd like to know that he pays it for everything except for his late charges, okay? You see what I'm asking? Just add, have it added up or get the computer. That software will spit that out for you.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
We ready to vote on this?
Yes, and quite honestly, I would call for a roll call vote.
Okay. Kaiser,
No, because we're uncertain.
Klein,
Yes.
Comber, yes. Wojcik?
Yes,
Okay. We only got one.
but I totally agree with you that we should do
For
that.
future, yeah.
We need to know, if you're going to give him, because he was unaware, we needed to know how much to reduce his bill.
Because he was the first one to come forward, he got what he asked for, now we
Okay.
can refine it more, and maybe people will have to pay a little bit more. But yeah, the people that usually come forward and try to settle up, That's why I voted yes.
Okay.
Okay,
And should I put in here that,
I have 9 staging
should
parcels.
I put in here that all settlements will come before the board, or should I just leave that out for now?
No, I
and just-
think they should come in front
and
of the
just put
board.
them in?
I think they should come before the board.
So I should put
Concerns
that in
money,
there.
bring it.
Yep.
In order to save hassle in the future, how about if you bill the owner instead of the tenant?
That's a possibility. Okay, then the
Illegal.
Landlord.
Because I was told
Yeah,
before when I
landlord's aware
had
from
tenants
the-
in my house that they wouldn't allow the other people to do it because they already had late bills from the previous place that they lived. So they billed me directly and I just increased the cost of the rent.
Yep.
Right.
say, and then it would eliminate that problem.
Right.
It would.
Okay,
That would make it easy.
I added that all settlements must come before the board. Okay.
Number 9.
Number 9.
That's it,
Can I
right?
speak to it?
Yes.
Or you want me to?
No, you go right ahead.
I'm gonna make a motion that Briley Township allow the VFW to store the stage that was granted to them in the park. And it can be a spot of their choosing, it can be however they'd like to see it done. But the idea behind that stage was to be there for the community. It can service far more than the Vet Fest, it can service the Elk Fest beauty pageant, it can service a car show. If you wanna eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on a stage and just feel like you're on top of the world, by all means, please help yourself. I really believe that if you look at our Briley master plan, it says to encourage, to endorse, to support the growth of community organizations in this community. And I would really like to see Briley work along with the VFW and any other organization in the process of this. So I'm asking for a motion that this stage can be stacked up and secured at the park for use by any organization in the town.
Okay. Now, you're going to store that in the park. And the maintenance people have to mow that area and stuff, and then they're gonna be working around it. So
They don't
couldn't
mow on
we-
the concrete.
Yeah.
They don't mow the concrete.
Okay, where are you going to put it, Craig?
We're gonna leave it right where it's at for now.
Oh, in
In the
that
pavilion,
pavilion.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we could tear it down and stack it up, that's not a problem. But the weight of this thing, to move it back and forth, the problem that I would have is, once I haul it out of there to the VFW for proper storage or whatever the case is, any organization that's gonna wanna use it, I'm gonna need bodies to help move it. You know, it's gonna take a couple trailers, some trucks, it's gonna take guys that are a lot stronger than I am. I mean, it's gonna get stupid, and nobody's gonna use it because of the labor involved in it. If we stacked it up on the apron behind the open air pavilion even, we can run chains through it and put a padlock on, the park attendant could have a key to that. Somebody comes down and says, hey, I wanna eat my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, pull down a couple panels, stack them up, eat your sandwich.
Well, yeah, because as long as it's not going to, it's not hurting anything, as long as people can still use it, and they don't mind being on stage, and you don't mind people having a picnic table on it, because
No.
when that stage was gone, picnic tables were in there.
Right.
So, that's where I'm at with it, as long as everybody can freely use that area, and the picnic tables can come back, what's the problem? I don't have a problem with
I
that.
don't think that's been seconded, so I'll second it, unless somebody else did, then tell me.
Yeah, if you go down there at lunchtime, which is gonna be shortly, a lot of people use the park and the pavilion for eating their lunch, believe it or not. I don't know where they come from or where they work. There's a lot of people that do use the park, go buy food or bring it.
If we stack those panels up on the apron behind there, right, there's 24 of them. So that would be 4 stacks of 6. Would those alter anything that you do in the park?
Absolutely not.
And like I said, there's handles cut into them. You know, the VFW can supply a chain or braided cable, whatever the case, so we can padlock those panels and you'd have a key to them at all times.
Yes.
Before
I've already
we vote,
seen
I
people
wanna
having
thank the
picnics up there.
VFW for
Okay.
donating this stage
now.
for
As
use
long as
by
you
other
don't
people.
affect other people, what's the problem?
Yeah,
Do it.
they've already currently been using it, and I
Because
just
those are
take a,
huge and they are heavy.
I just take a leaf blower and pull off the
crumbs and whatever's left over. No,
Oh,
it's-
up on the stage?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
Oh,
not a
absolutely, so
problem.
there's
Not a
people
problem.
already eating peanut butter and jelly
And I've
sandwiches.
got a power wash, you
Just
got,
vote.
we
Or
need to
whatever they
really-
take for the
Oh, just
lunch,
a
for
vote.
God's sake.
Okay. Okay, it's been motioned and seconded that the
Stage remains at the pavilion.
the stage be stored in the park and that other people besides the VFW can use it if they want.
And absolutely, you'll have a key to that. I really don't care who it is, what it is, if they want a stage, they got it, man.
Is that the motion?
Yes,
Okay. So we can vote.
And you said,
Now,
and he, Ed seconded it, so we can vote on that. Wait,
I just got one quick comment on that. Is there any way that we could make that handicap accessible with some kind of a ramp?
yeah, we can work on that. The
we got it.
VFW will take that one on.
Okay.
We'll make a ramp that can be slid right up to it without a problem.
That's all
It'll
I
have
need.
handles so it can
Good
be cabled
point,
as
Jay.
well.
Good
That's all we
point.
needed.
All right. So a ramp will be there.
Ready for a vote?
Good point.
I guess we can vote on that.
okay. Do you think this will affect any use or rental of the open air pavilion and somebody else's possible use?
They're modular enough that I think we can accommodate whoever needs to
Okay.
use it. That's how Craig designed it and built it, so it is completely modular, we can stack it wherever we need to stack it, and
Okay,
I don't see any problems in the future, really.
okay,
We can vote.
yeah. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Don't even have to do it.
Move we adjourn.
I'll
Let's go
second
home.
that.
Okay, motion is second to adjourn. Motion